On the news tonight, former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari buried in hometown Daura, Katsina State. Police launched manhunt over abduction of Nasarawa Permanent Secretary Yusuf Musa. Lawmaker condemns recent Plateau killings, urges National Assembly to take action. And on the foreign scene, almost 7,000 Afghans are relocated to the UK in secret scheme after MOD data breach. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. The remains of former President Muhammadu Buhari has been laid to rest in his hometown of Daura in Katsina State. It was a solemn moment as the lifeless body of the 82-year-old was brought out of his casket, draped in green-white-green Nigerian colors, and lowered into the earth at exactly 5:50 p.m. in the presence of grieving children, family members, and associates. Full military honors and other accompaniments, such as gun salutes and tuneful processions befitting a former commander-in-chief of the armed forces, were accorded to Buhari. Islamic rites also preceded the interment of the former leader. Buhari led Nigeria for a cumulative period of 9 years and 8 months, both as the military head of state and a democratically elected president, making him the second longest serving leader. Earlier, President Bola Tinubu received the remains of his predecessor at his body as his body arrived at Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport in Katsina from London, where he died on Sunday. Turning to security, police authorities in Nasarawa State have launched an investigation into the abduction of the permanent secretary of the State Ministry of Information, Yusuf Musa. Spokesman of the State Police Command, Rahman Nansel, in a statement said at about 3:05 a.m., a patrol team from B Division, Lafayette, discovered a Pocho pickup van with all doors left wide open in a suspicious manner. It disclosed that upon closer examination, officers observed that the gate of the victim's residence was also ajar, prompting a swift search of the premises, which confirmed that Barrister Yusuf Musa was missing, along with his GMC vehicle, raising strong suspicion of an abduction. He said following the incident, the Commissioner of Police, Shatima Mohammed, promptly activated a coordinated tactical operation by alerting all relevant police divisions across the state and deploying surveillance along strategic routes to track and intercept the fleeing suspect. The State Command has urged the public to remain calm and vigilant, asking anyone with useful information to report it to the nearest station. In the meantime, the lawmaker representing Plateau North in the Senate, Senator Pam Dachung-Yang, has condemned the recent killings in some part of his constituency, particularly in Joel, Rim, and Jebu villages by gunmen. The senator described the attacks, which have claimed over 30 lives, as an indictment on all, calling for urgent action to stop the violence. In a statement on Tuesday by his media aide Eric Dunk, the senator noted that the situation in Jebu village is akin to a war situation, with innocent villagers being targeted. He expressed concerns that the attacks are affecting the livelihoods of the people, particularly farmers, and urged the National Assembly to take practical steps to address the issue. Senator Dachung-Yang also emphasized the need to reinvigorate the present security architecture in the state to guarantee the security of lives and property. The lawmaker condoled with those who lost loved ones in the attacks and called for collective action to bring the perpetrators to justice. At least 27 farmers, including men and women, were reportedly killed on Monday in a fresh attack by gunmen in Bindi Jebu of the Tahos community in the Riom local government area of the state. Retired police officers in Nigeria have intensified calls for improved pension benefits as the National Assembly continues to delay the approval of 758 billion naira in outstanding pension liabilities. In a statement today, the ex-servicemen under the aegis of the National Association of Retired Police Officers of Nigeria urged the federal government to urgently address the grievances of retirees under the contributory pension scheme in order to avert a planned protest by 7 police officers. The statement, signed by Association's National President, Comrade Paul Uchennu, highlighted the economic hardship faced by retirees and called for calm, dialogue and policy-driven engagement. NAPA noted that the National Pension Commission had on 18 June approved a significant upward review of pensions for CPS retirees, demonstrating the system's responsiveness to economic realities. However, the association stressed that approving the 758 billion naira pension liabilities currently pending before the National Assembly will significantly enhance the retirement benefits of both serving and retired officers. The association also recommended an increase in the government's contribution to retirement savings accounts from the current 10 to 20% in line with Section 4 of the Pension Reform Act 2014. Today is World Youth Skills Day, set aside to celebrate the strategic importance of equipping young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. This year's theme focuses on youth empowerment through AI and digital skills. Joining us on the news tonight is Baba Gana Aminu, education specialist at UNICEF Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on the news at 7, sir.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everybody.
Thank you. And in commemoration of what they represent, how important is it to have these days celebrated?
Thank you very much for that question. So World Skills Day is celebrated on the June 15 each year, and it was established by the United Nations in the year 2014 to recognize the strategic importance of equipping young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. And the reason why this particular day is so important to the UN family is because we recognize the importance of having skills for today's and tomorrow's job. And it means young people have an important role to play in terms of building economies, not only locally but globally. And that's why this particular day is being commemorated, and it's been set aside to really put forward advocacy messages and also taking bold actions in terms of changing the narrative, in terms of building skills and ensuring that young people are at the forefront in terms of building the world economy.
Right. Now, every year, millions of Nigerian youths enter the job market, but they now face increasing challenges with getting dignified work in this changing world. Now, how can Nigerians connect better, demands, especially in tech and AI?
All right, thank you very much for that question. And let me approach this first of all by giving some global statistics.
Right.
According to the World Economic Forum, they report that about 44% of core job skills will be disrupted in the next 5 years. And this is as a result of AI advancement and automation. This means that nearly half of today's workforce must reskill or upskill. Locally, we know that in the recent statistics that was published by NBS, that is National Bureau of Statistics, that the unemployment and underemployment stood at around 17%. But young people in Nigeria, more specifically, they're facing multitude of challenges. But these challenges are in form of barriers, which are three in number. Number one, infrastructural challenges. Number two, digital divide, and number three, youth unemployment.
All right. Are you still with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. Now, as far as infrastructure, is concerned in Nigeria, knowledge and all of those things, do you think that digital skills and AI training opportunities are really available? Are they accessible to the Nigerian youth?
Yeah, this is a very important question. Digital skills are available to the larger extent of young people across the globe and also for Nigeria. But I think where the gap is, number one, is that digital skills are not being adequately taught in our secondary schools and our tertiary institutions. And that's why we can see the gaps between learning and transitioning now to workforce, to work environment. So the link is not really there. So, for example, if I talk about the partnership that we have as UNICEF together with Federal Ministry of Education and Microsoft, that is a digital learning platform that was inaugurated and launched in 2022, which is called the Nigerian Learning Passport. On that platform, there are a lot of courses for digital skills, digital literacy, professional soft skills, and as well as generative AI. And these courses are for free, hosted and provided by Microsoft and Passport. As well as these courses are also readily available on as simple as on YouTube. Right? So what the gap is in terms of awareness amongst the young populace in Nigeria and in the developing countries in Africa to really go and explore these courses. And that would mean a stepping stone for the young populace in Nigeria. And when we talk about the infrastructure, we know that to access courses online, it requires a lot of things, starting from electricity to availability of internet.
Right.
And this is where the infrastructure gap is. With 159 million Nigerians having access to internet, only about 50% have meaningful access to broadband access. And this is even more worrisome in the rural areas, where under 20% have access to broadband internet. But this is where it is interesting as well for us to raise awareness. UNICEF has a partnership with IHS Towers, the likes of Airtel, and Airtel is providing free data to all their subscribers across Nigeria to have access to the learning passport for free. They don't need to have data. So that's the contribution of private sector. So I believe that both public, private sector, and the youth, we need to come together on a single platform so that we can chant and advance the advancement of digital learning and AI. And UNICEF has provided that platform, which is called Generation Unlimited Nigeria. And we have a slogan in Nigeria that we know get limit. So this is a public-private youth partnership where we have private sector contributing to that. And that's why we have the likes of Microsoft, IHS Towers, ATCN, MTN Foundation, and so on.
All right. Now, Babagana, I'm sure my next question, you will have, heard it and possibly still hearing it at different, platforms for. The question is, there are fears that AI, we end up taking away people's jobs. Do you agree?
Well, my answer may sound I agree, but I think the narrative will not be that AI is going to take away people's job. But I would say that people that know how to use AI efficiently are going to take jobs away from people.
All right. I guess we have some.
So it means that if you are somebody out to use AI, we call the statistics, 50% of core job skills are going to face challenges due to need to reskill and upskill to be able to fit in.
All right. Now, we're talking about digital skills, especially artificial intelligence right now. There are issues, challenges, just like with other nations, but this is our country, this is Nigeria. How can AI help, in fixing some of these challenges?
Okay, a very interesting question, and this is where it is very important for us to, as a nation, we need to build skills around AI, ethical use of AI, and also advanced use of AI, because currently the AI globally is biased of Africa, is biased in Nigeria, because our data is not there. And the way we can solve it is that we need to have massive amount of data that AI models can be trained on. For example, when we take agri-tech, for instance, we need to work with local startups to build solutions upon AI that are going to solve issues around crop disease detection, weather prediction, and also algorithms that can help farmers to yield and optimize yield in there, using satellite imagery and using machine learning. When we talk about health tech, this is where AI-powered chatbots for basic diagnosis, mental health monitoring, and translating medical information into local languages. Because you will agree with me that we have a lot of local population that they will get to understand. They don't understand their medical information, but with the use of AI, that can solve a lot of issues. The same thing with EdTech. With AI, we can build adaptive learning apps using AI for personalized education, even in low to no connectivity areas. And as well, when we talk about fintech, so in the area of a lot of challenges we're facing, most importantly, when it comes to corruption, in fighting corruption, employing AI will be able to understand our data sets, understand our financial transaction, and then AI can actually predict or detect possible corruption that's going to happen. Let me give you an example. For example, if there should be a fire outbreak in Dubai, the Dubai government is able to know whether fire is going to happen because they have trained an advanced AI using previous fire outbreaks, and also they have installed detection sensors inside the building. So 7 minutes, 10 minutes before it happens, they're able to detect that. So why can't we do it in Africa? Why can't we do it in Nigeria? So with all of the different issues we have, starting from corruption to insecurity, AI is the solution.
All right, because of time, I have to let you go. But before that, the increasing use of AI actually is transforming how we live, learn, and work. Now, the question is, there are also concerns about ethics. How do you think these concerns can be properly addressed?
Yeah, very importantly as well, in terms of ethics, that's why in everything we need to ensure that there is ethical use. But ethics cannot be built if awareness and the knowledge and education around AI is not available, and this means that we need to raise awareness, we need to build the skills for us to be able to understand what are the consequences with AI, and it means that government and policy makers will need to come together to also understand what AI is all about. We cannot build policies or regulate AI if we do not understand what AI is all about. So there is the need for stakeholders, policy makers to come together, have a proper understanding of AI, and knows how to regulate it, especially in education. Right now in education, AI is disrupting everything, but education is the most hit because students in universities and school, they will be given assignment, and then the next thing they go to any of the AI generative tool, generate assignment, copy and paste and submit. So we need to really understand and raise awareness. We should not be afraid of AI, if I will recommend, but rather to understand it and then proper solution and implement solution and mechanisms to regulate how it's been used.
I've been speaking to Baba Gana Aminu, education specialist at UNICEF Nigeria. Thank you for your insight on the news at 7. Right. Thank you. Now, here in Osun State, the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Demola Adeleke on Civil Society Organizations, Comrade Emmanuel Adebisi, is seeking justice after allegedly being brutalized by officials of the Nigerian Air Force in the state. The incident is alleged to have occurred recently at the Dele Yesa area of Oshogbo, the state capital, where the victim and officers of Amotekun Corps who came to intervene were alleged to have been beaten by the Air Force officials. Joseph Atewe tells us more on this.
This guy started beating me. He claimed he's the commandant, Air Force Osun branch, that he was the commandant. He beat me. I was trying to escape. He was beating me, punching me until I escaped.
That's the voice of the Senior Special Assistant to the Osun State Governor on Civil Society Organizations, Comrade Adebisi Manuel, explaining to Rave FM News I was allegedly brutalized by a Nigerian Air Force commander in Osun State around Dele Yesa some weeks ago. According to Mr. Emmanuel, who was seen with wounds and blood stains all over, further explained that the attack happened shortly after completing a routine inspection of his business, which aimed to assess its condition and identify improvement following a recent funding shortfall. He alleged that as he was getting into his vehicle, 3 men of the Nigerian Air Force approached him with seemingly unrelated questions before suddenly turning violent, attacked him before beating him beyond recognition.
Went to check on one of my snooker board, which I put in charge of someone to manage for me. This snooker board, I did not raise voice on him. I did not attack him. We even laughed on this issue, and I left. I left from 03, crossed to the Zest bar where I parked my car, and I put the stick inside the car. Discussing with my friend there, I saw 3 guys coming. They are on mufti. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they come from. I have not seen them before. And one of them said I should come. I went to meet them, and The other one said, carry and go where the snooker is. I said, what happened? He said, that was when the other one started engaging with that. Do you know you are stupid? How can you come to that place and pack the snooker stick? How can you do this? I said, your character is not good. I said, sir, that thing there is my property. I came to pack the bad stick that are not good, that didn't have right on my thing. I said, and I've not talked to you. He said, you come to the snooker where I'm playing, you are pressing the snooker. I said, it was when I discovered that one of the snooker cush have broken. That was why I checked round the other one. That was how this guy started beating me.
Speaking further, the special advisor also stated that he narrowly escaped and rushed to the nearest police station, where he was assigned 3 officers to accompany him back to the location. According to him, upon returning, he was assaulted again right in front of the police officers. He said the alleged attackers reportedly have boasted that they were untouchable due to their positions in the Air Force, showing disregard for the law and its safety. He also revealed that when he returned to the scene again with the Osun State Amotekun security squad to apprehend the attackers, they reinforced and then physically attacked the Amotekun team and threatened to kill him without leaving any trace.
I ran to the nearest police station to report the situation. Getting there, they gave me 3 police officers to follow me down to the scene of the incident. In front of those police, they were still beating me with that snooker stick, telling me they can break bottle on my head, nothing will happen. He is a senior Air Force officer and this and that. At the end of the day, the police could not do anything. Then I proceed to state headquarters. But due to the hour, nobody was at the state headquarters, but I make a report at the PRU section, which they direct me back to the branch I went at the first place at Daura Estate Police Station. That they are the one that will establish the case. That after arresting the guy at the snooker point, if I want them to do the case, that's the time they will come and pick the boy from there. That I should go back. On my way going back, I met the Amotekun cops on the road. We are familiar with each other. They know me very well. They were trying to tell me to come down from the car because they don't know what happened to me. But I was trying to dodge. Them seeing blood in my clothes and all my face being wrinkled, they now said, what happened? That have I called their cop commandant, which is Olagoju, and I told them that I've not called him, that it's night, that is he around, that I don't want to disturb. They said I should call, and I'll call him. I called the cop commandant. Seeing me, he said they will go there and arrest the snooker boy. Getting there, we'll still meet these people claiming they are soldier there, and they call more Air Force officers, and they humiliate the Amotekun cops. They beat them. Beating them, the driver of the Ilos now told me that if they saw me in the car, they might brutalize me more. He used reverse from that 03 till Prime Junction. They were pursuing us. They pursued us until we were able to escape. Escaping, getting to their base, they have to reinforce so that they can bring their people that have been hostage there. But reverse was the case. By the time they were coming back, this Air Force are beating all of them. They were now shouting at that base that, where's that boy? We will kill him tonight and nothing will happen. That was how I managed to find a narrow way to escape.
Weeks after trying to get the Nigerian Air Force to react, we reached out to Mr. Debisi Emmanuel, who stated that he had gone to the Air Force headquarters at Okebale in Osogbo to meet with the director, who serves as the most senior Air Force officer in Osun State, but they have allegedly changed the whole story, he claims. He said the alleged inaccurate version contradicted what took place at the scene, where he had been clearly identified and subjected to harassment by the Nigerian Air Force Osun State. Mr. Adebisi has vowed not to be intimidated, stating that he has every right to his property and personal safety, and emphasized that no amount of threats or violence will stop him from standing his ground as he wants justice. He said he wants all his valuables worth thousands of naira allegedly destroyed by the Nigerian Air Force or Osun State on the said night replaced. Joseph Atewe, Western Spring Television News.
You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come. Federal government pledges diplomatic resolution with the U.S., UAE over visa dispute. We will bring you more on these when we return. Stay with us. On Western Spring Television. A reminder of our headlines. Former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari buried in hometown Daura, Katsina State. The police launched manhunt over abduction of Nasarawa Permanent Secretary Yusuf Musa. Lawmaker condemns recent Plateau killings, urges National Assembly to take action. On the foreign scene, almost 7,000 Afghans relocated to UK in secret scheme after MOD data breach. The federal government has reaffirmed its strong commitment to resolving the visa dispute with the United States and the United Arab Emirates UAE through diplomatic engagement. The government also reiterated its unwavering commitment to strengthening long-standing cordial diplomatic relations with the governments of both countries. This was contained in a statement issued today by presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, following recent adjustments in visa policies affecting Nigerian citizens by both countries. According to Onanuga, relevant government agencies are actively engaging with their counterparts to address concerns through appropriate channels. He said the United States government has officially communicated that his decision was based on two principal factors: the current rate of visa overstays by Nigerian nationals and the need for reliable access to their records. President Bola Tinubu, he said, had directed all federal agencies to comply fully with international obligations and strengthen consular identity verification systems. Regarding the visa requirements for UAE transit visas, Onanuga clarified that no formal notice had been received from the Emirati government. Towards ensuring that young learners gain vital digital skills, a non-government organization in Osun State, Teens Awareness Initiative, is working to weave artificial intelligence into education through delivering free youth-focused courses. We are now being joined on the news at 7 by Daura Motosho. She is the Executive Director of Teens Awareness Initiative, a non-government organization. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good day, everyone. So good to be here.
Thank you. Now, kindly take us through how your organization is delivering free youth-focused digital courses on the Nigerian Learning Passport.
Okay, all right. So thank you, everybody. So my name is Rhoda Simeon Israel. I'm Nino Motosho, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Teens Awareness Initiative. Since 2019, we've been working on bridging the learning gap among children, among vulnerable children. So since the COVID-19, we discovered the gap on digital learning, and we took the step of partnering with different organizations, which brought us into the program funded by UNICEF, Nigerian Learning Passport. So we were able to partner with UNICEF and the Ministry of Education of Osun State to introduce the Nigerian Learning Passport into the learning scheme of students, young people in Osun State. So this learning platform has provided a full and rich curriculum for learning across all levels, primary, secondary, tertiary, in a way that is accessible to all students, both students that have access to internet and students that don't have access to internet, because it is a platform that is available offline, that works offline for students to access the courses. And under this program, we also have provision for free internet for students. The partnership is with UNICEF, is with Microsoft, is with Airtel, is with MTN, ensuring that every young person have access to digital literacy courses, their regular curriculum, and connectivity, free connectivity that enhance their learning, and most especially that expose them to the digital world, which is the new wave in education right now. So these are some of these efforts, and this program was launched in December 2024. And as we speak right now, 500 secondary schools in Osun State have been equipped with digital skills. Teachers across these 500 schools have been equipped with digital skills. Free routers have also been distributed across these 500 schools, as well as free internet connectivity to foster learning across the schools in Osun State. Thank you.
Right. Now, how inclusive and accessible are these digital courses?
Okay, so in terms of inclusion, that was why I mentioned that the Nigerian Learning Passport, has been designed in such a way that both students that have access to internet and those that don't have access to internet are able to access it. Because with Airtel SIM, the platform is able to work offline, even when there is no connectivity. Once there is Airtel SIM, all they have to do is to download Nigerian Learning Passports on their Android phone. Then with their Airtel SIM, it opens and they are able to access courses. So this, this speaks to inclusion of vulnerable children. We may not actually have access to connectivity to be able to access the course. And also in terms of inclusion and accessibility, it works on Android phone. We believe that an average young person in Nigeria right now have Android phones. So through their Android phones, their parents' Android phones, they're able to access the courses. And even per adventure that there are some students who do not have Android phones, who are not able to access devices to take these courses. We are working with the Ministry of Education, partnering with CBT centers, computer training centers, to make the courses available to young people. So currently, the Ministry of Education have a list of CBT centers that are partnering to offer free digital learning training, free AI courses training for young people across the local government in Osun State. So all they have to do is they can walk up to the Ministry of Education and make a request for any of the CBT centers that they can access. They can go there. It is completely free. And these CBT centers have been equipped and empowered with the needed connectivity to ensure that students who do not have access to devices are able to access the courses as well.
Right. Now, what are the major challenges you have been able to identify, for the Nigerian youth, in accessing these digital skills and even in applying them?
Okay. Firstly, in terms of access, infrastructure has been a major challenge in Nigeria, especially within the school system. Within the school system, the availability of infrastructure within the school has been a major challenge. Also, electricity, you go to most of the schools, there will be different excuses like no electricity to power the devices. That's even for those that have devices, or, absence of devices completely. That has been the first major challenge. The second major challenge within the school system is in terms of teachers' capacity. That is why teachers' training is a core in this program, this intervention that we have been carrying out. So, teachers' capacity, it is a pity that in this digital-driven world, most teachers are actually still struggling in applying digital devices, in actually, teaching their students. And in terms of applicability of young people especially, tertiary institution students, I think there is a need for orientation, there's a need for mindset, mindset building on how young people can use digital skills to their own advantage for their own career growth and for their own self-development. Because the challenge has been that though some young people are not completely alien to this development, to this digital development, we observe that most of them use it the wrong way, either using it, for cheating, or some using it for fraudulent, and all of that. Meanwhile, this knowledge, this exposure can actually be converted to economic development and economic growth for themselves. So there is need for orientation, there's need for mindset re-engineering for young people when it comes to applicability of their digital knowledge and their digital skills. Yes.
Now, yeah. As far as AI and global trend is concerned, do you think Nigeria is keeping the pace globally in AI innovation, taking into account the educational challenges that we have right now?
Okay, well, I would say that Nigeria is making progress, though we are not there yet, but at least there's a track record of significant efforts that is ongoing in the country to transform our education system. Part of this effort is what has made us to have the Nigerian Learning Passport Program, which is done by the Federal Ministry of Education in partnership with UNICEF. So if the Federal Ministry of Education, are not taking this step, they will not have learning passports across different states in Nigeria. So part of the effort of the country, of the educational sector in the country, is what has actually bettered this innovation that we are having right now. And there are several efforts being made. There are several partnerships, from Microsoft, partnerships from MTN, partnership from Airtel, partnership from outside the countries, So we are making efforts, and the efforts have been giving us some reasonable results so far, at least to a very large extent. We have over 1 million users of Nigerian learning passports, all over Nigeria. That's a very significant effort. And recently, the Nigerian government gave their commitment to empowering more young people in Nigeria by the end of 2025. So there are plans ongoing to empower young people with digital literacy, most especially the literacy that actually helps them to convert their knowledge into income.
Right.
Yes. So they are ongoing efforts, but there are still so much work to be done. We are still not there yet, but at least we keep making progress, precept upon precept, until we are there. So we must not be redundant. We must not relent on previous achievements. We must seek to have more collaboration, and most importantly, incorporate what we have into our system and make it work.
Now, what digital skill, or AI skill, artificial intelligence skill, will you suggest that we should start teaching, as far as education is concerned in Nigerian schools, be at the federal level, be at the state level, be at the secondary or primary levels? What skills will you suggest?
Okay, so as a young person leading an organization that is driving the growth of young people, one thing that I have always tell people is that technology and AI is applicable in any field that you are working. Any field that you are working, technology and AI is applicable. And I will try to be practical with this. I practice as a research consultant. With the emergence of AI, I've been able to do better in my career because I'm able to search the internet more easier. I don't have to spend so much hours looking for the right resources for my work online. All I have to do is either to use ChatGPT or to use Microsoft Copilot or to use the Google Gemini, and I will get what I need in just like a twinkle of an eye. So all these basic AI tools, how to use Google, how to use Microsoft, how to use ChatGPT, how to prompt the different AI tools in a way that will actually give you desired results are important to be taught right now. I made a reflection and I was like, if I happen to be in tertiary institution in this age of AI, I would have made my first class so easily, I wouldn't have to miss first class by, a very slight point, because with AI, you are able to study better, you are able to have a better result, you are able to maximize your time.
Yeah, but maybe to build in here. Yeah, because of time, my last question is for a Nigerian youth who is very interested actually in pursuing a career in AI or any of these digital skills, but is overwhelmed or under-resourced, how will you advise such a youth, a young person?
Okay, what I would say to Nigerian youth, even as we celebrate this day for youth skill, youth skill day, is that no Nigerian youth have skills. There are more than enough resources online for anyone to acquire the skills that they want. If you want to develop your skill in data science, you have more than enough resources on YouTube. Even ChatGPT can teach you how to code, how to do your analysis, how to practically do anything. So if you want to pursue any career in tech, in AI, or any digital knowledge that you need, maximize the resources you have online.
All right. We have been having a conversation with Rhoda Omotosho, the Executive Director of Teens Awareness Initiative, a non-government organization. Thank you for your time and contributions on the News at 7, Rhoda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And on the foreign scene, almost 7,000 Afghan nationals had been relocated to the UK following a massive data breach by the British military that successive governments tried to keep secret with a super injection. The blunder exposed the personal information of close to 20,000